I put a lot of thought into this, how I was going to respond to calls for me to quit my job in protest over the dangers of 5G. So I did some more research. I learned some new things. I talked to some people. I did a lot of soul searching and I did a lot of praying. Here's where the danger lies in 5G. Right? Small cell antennas, the repeaters that are going to be installed every 8 houses, the ones that are going to be inside your office building or in the bar or in the restaurant with you at the kids' daycare, that is where the danger lies. The proximity to you. Not in the readiness technology that we're putting up on the tower. There are still people all over the place that don't have E911 access. And that is a big part of my job and part of that I take pride in. Right? I install the first responders network. And it's necessary. And I'm not going to quit. I love my job. I can't explain to you the elation of a 400-foot climb straight up to hang by a thread, come up here and move around thousands of pounds of steel. I'm not giving up this view. I'm not giving up my brothers. I'm not giving up this job. Not when. I've still got time. We still have time. There's an FCC rule in place that currently prevents them from putting the small cell technology that close to your...
Yeah, I don't know how it is. I go nearly a year without making a video, and it just so happens that I'm wearing the same shirt next go around. Ain't that something? So, update time. I reckon next chapter sort of deal. Um, yeah, so about a month ago, I went to the ocean. Came out, my eyes were kind of blurry. And then by the time I got home, it was real bad. Like real bad double vision, and I was dizzy. About a couple days go by. I figured it'd go away. A couple days go by. Finally, take myself to Walmart Vision. Figure I needed glasses. I'd pony up to it. Dad wore them, Mom wears them, you know. All right. And they say, hey, look, nothing's wrong with your eyes, but they're pointing the wrong way. They're kind of not doing right. And in the examination, making following the light around, we discovered this. Apparently, I have a palsy on the ocular nerves, which caused just terror, because there's only a couple things that would do that. Right? There's a handful of them, and ain't none of them good, right? So after the CAT scan and the MRI and the blood work, we determined that it wasn't Lyme disease. It's not syphilis. It wasn't a tumor. But they diagnosed me with a demyelinating disorder, um, like multiple sclerosis. Essentially, my body's super immune system. And when I say super immune system, I mean if you stand within 5 feet of me, you are immune to COVID just from proximity. You understand? I am the cure. Well, my body also thinks that my brain is the problem, and it is using my amazing immune system to attack the wiring in my brain. And as a result, it has frozen my eyes partially, so I now have double vision and nausea. Um, they didn't do anything at the hospital. They just cut me loose, gave me a number to call to schedule an appointment, which was like 4 weeks later. Come to find out, when you're diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, like, they're supposed to give you steroids immediate, intravenous, like 5 days worth of steroids, to kickstart like the regrowth of the blood-brain barrier. And they just sent me home and left me to wait another 4 weeks while my brain kind of melted, essentially. Because I don't have necessarily the demyelinating disorder. When I finally got to go see the neurologist, and that's a whole different story. Like, when he finally looked at my MRI and discovered 5 active lesions that he could see, none of which being in a place where they'd mess with my optic nerve, so he knows that there's another one down the back of my brain by my cerebellum. So at least 6 active lesions inside my head have been left untreated. I mean, I get it. Hey, it's 2021. I'm unemployed. Have been for about 6 months. Right after inauguration day, boss started cutting people loose. So I got the axe. I don't have insurance, and now I've got a life-threatening illness. And the hospital's playing games with me because of the money. Um, so the neurologist, he's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they didn't give you steroids immediately. They just cut you loose. We got to get you in there right now. I'm going to send an order over for like emergency steroid intravenous." I tell you what, Oslo Memorial Hospital kicked it back. Uh, Something to do with the insurance. We're now 3-4 days later, and I'm not in a good way. Um, the tremors started in my arms this morning, and that shit's terrifying to me. Like, I don't want to get $1 million baby. You know what I mean? I mean, like my own brain and body are the culprit. So I got to looking into like, how the fuck does this happen? Well, MS generally happens because there's an issue with the membrane that protects the brain from like everything, the blood-brain barrier. And I remember something that I picked up, some information I picked up around about the last time you saw a video out of me. The effects of radio frequency on the blood-brain barrier. It was actually the first result that popped up when I Googled it. And they found definitively that direct and overexposure of non-ionizing radiation to rats' skulls just decimated the blood-brain barrier. And as a result, my immune system is able to pass through that protective barrier and harvest the mylar. It's the coating on the nerves inside my brain. So they're able to harvest that stuff and create more antibodies. It's almost turning my brain into like an antibody training center and harvesting my neural connections to do it. So my brain's slowly forgetting how to speak to parts of my body. It already started with my eyes and my vision. It's moving down into my arms. I can feel it in my thighs. And the bitch about it is, like, we managed to get an incredibly early diagnosis on this thing, and then fucking hospital just put me out. And I'm not a doctor. I don't know shit about multiple sclerosis. I was just scared. They gave me the thing. I had an appointment. I sat down to wait for it. I've been on this couch for like a month, and I just been feeling my brain slip away as I go. I'll probably rewatch this and listen to all the times that I had little slips of the tongue where I started to stumble over words, where previously that was not. I know I feel it coming. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm going to be one of those people that spent my life paying into the system to end up actually needing it. Multiple sclerosis is an automatic Social Security disability approval. It's a life-ending, life-altering disease. And, fuck, I haven't driven in nearly a month and a half, not since this happened. It would be unconscionable for me to put myself behind the wheel. Like, if I had a dizzy spell or anything, if I got behind the wheel not 100%, not knowing that there's something wrong with me and not knowing the full extent of it, that would just make me a fucking monster. You know, it'd be putting everybody else at risk. Fuck my life. I mean, like, my only goals were to get my children into college, and then I could check out as it was. And maybe I'll be lucky to see that. And there's no proving what happened. I asked the neurologist, so because I've got a theory. As soon as I read that article about radio frequency of the blood-brain barrier, and then watched the videos about multiple sclerosis and how it's a passing of the antibodies through the blood-brain barrier that's not supposed to happen. And then I remembered that fucking day on that tower in Atlanta over the train yard with Michael Hale, where I got stuck under the platform replumbing 24 jumpers per antenna on positions 1 and 5, all 3 sectors, while while the tower was hot. It was live during peak traffic, and they wouldn't shut it off. And I had to go replumb all this, and like I had to come out from the tower because there was a platform above us, so I couldn't come down the handrail, or I'd be like in the path. Which is actually what I think I ended up having to do because I couldn't come out from the tower. So I had to get out in front of those antennas this whole time, and then drop down below them. And I was laying like horizontal with the ground underneath the antenna, using the bottom of the mast pipe on position 3 to put a boot toe on, and then I had a shoulder on the mast pipe from position 1. I pop my head up there and be able to do all those jumpers. Well, what it ended up meaning, holding myself in that position, was like the top part of my skull was just directly in the path of those antenna for like 20-25 minutes per antenna. It's 24 jumpers, replumbing them all, and having my buddy up top like chase them out and make sure I got hold of the right one because they weren't color coded correctly. Whoever had built that site and I was there to fix it and troubleshoot it left me with a nightmare. And there's no way for me to prove that that's the day that I took a massive blast of radio frequency to the head and cooked my noodle, but it's the only one I can think of. So fuck, I don't know, maybe video games rotted my brain. I don't fucking know. All I know is I don't feel good, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? I need medical attention. I don't have insurance. You know, I might need to sue these fuckers for robbing me a month. Like, my arms were fine a month ago. This month, sitting down waiting when they should have done something the night they saw me at the hospital. My fucking arms from me, I can feel it this week. I used to be able to hold my body weight plus my safety gear and most of another man's weight one-handed, climbing cell phone towers, and now I can feel the weakness. Like when I flex, I don't know if you can see. It's almost like a shadow effect after the flex, like a second. It's almost like a reverb, like it's a fucking tremor is what it is. And yeah, so that's the update in my story. Sorry I don't have real good news to share. So whatever, you know. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. And I wish I could stop coming to y'all like this, but really, I don't get on here and show my face unless I've got something to say. I'm not really vain like that. So, I don't know. God bless.